Explore new ways to tune into your music with Spotify Premium. Smart Shuffle adds recommendations into your playlist to show you new sounds. Or you can make music a shared experience when you host a jam, where you and your friends can add songs and listen in together. Tap the banner to learn more. Lean into the sounds you love. Take your playlists anywhere with offline downloads, or play your song of the moment again and again with unlimited repeats. Get all the music without hearing audio ads on Spotify Premium. Tap the banner to learn more.
Oh no! What happened to my body? One moment, chat. Oh no! My body does not existent. Just like my brain. One moment, everybody, let me just do the magical hocus pocus. And somehow that is not working. Why is that not working? What's wrong with you? One moment, chat, don't worry. Sometimes that happens. I don't know why that happens. It's really weird. You know what? Let me do to you. I love how sometimes it just bugs itself because why the heck not? Welcome to the world of technology. A moment, chat. A moment. Even though a moment has passed, but a moment. It'll be all fine. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. One moment, chat. Let me change the volume settings. There you go. I hated that the whole like wavelength thing is bugged. Where is my... Hold on a second. Where is my model? Thank you. Finally, it's working. There you go. I love how sometimes it stops working. It's just so damn weird. But hi. Hello, guys. Welcome on into VupeChat. Oh my god, I got hit in the face. Emotional damage. Oh my god. Natato. I'm a damn potato. Natato. I like that name. Really cool shit if you ask me. Goddamn potato-brained Cosmos Warrior. Oh my god. Are you guys happy? Because you should be happy. Even though sometimes there may not be reasons to be happy, but maybe I can make you happy despite the whole chaos happening online. Oh boy, please help me. Gaming gods of the universe. Can I just use my cosmos powers to bless society so that we can all be happy and not having to deal with this nonsense? Oh, you know what, Dark Alias? I'm all with you ahead of you, man. If you stop bullying me. If I had hands as well, I would gladly make it winter. Not gonna lie. In fact, I'm with you all the way, man. If I had some magical frosting power abilities, I will definitely change this weather into winter in a heartbeat. Because, man, I really despise this hot weather more than you think. Like, it's nice, but when it's into an extreme level, it's just not good for at all. Like, plants are dying because they're not getting enough water because it's way too hot outside. Especially plants that need a lot of water to survive. It's crazy. It's getting too hot to even go outside and walk. Literally walking from where you are, 5 minutes walking outside, it's really hot outside. It just drains your energy and just makes you extremely tired. And the problem is it's like critical to use AC, and that's just more electrical bills coming out of your pocket. So that's another kind of like problematic thing, because at least in winter you don't have to worry much about electrical bills. Maybe you can use, like, you know, electrical heater and all that, but that can be easily manageable because at least you can just wear some warm clothes and to some degree you can manage it. But with summer, man, it's just extremely more difficult in my opinion, not to mention buying ice. Like for me, ice cream is a must when I go outside and it's too hot. I have to get an ice cream, like that's not even a debate. In fact, today was the only day I didn't take ice cream and I wasn't happy about it. Because usually I go outside and I buy ice cream, but today I just wanted to save some money because I spend a little bit too much when I was outside. So there's that. But other than that, I really try my best not to avoid ice cream, especially when I'm in an area where I know there are good shops out there where they give you ice cream from the ice cream, you know, from the ice cream machine, you know, like the whippy ice cream, not the scoop ice cream. Those are my number one top ice creams, especially vanilla and chocolate. Like those are number one. But if there's like scoops, unless it is extremely hot, I will still buy scoops of ice cream. So to me, like, ice cream is a must. I don't know about you guys. Like, what about you guys? Like, I just can't go a hot day without having, like, I mostly try to buy ice cream. I really do. The reason I don't buy a lot of ice cream because it's expensive. In fact, usually you might as well buy those big tubs of ice cream from local supermarkets and they're extremely more cheaper because at least you can have a crap ton of ice cream and different flavors too, which is nice. So you can mix and match. They're not the whippy kind, of course, they're the scoop kind. But I mean, to me, when I'm just so hot, ice cream is ice cream. I really don't care at that point. I just want ice cream. Doesn't matter if I have to open my freezer and take 5 scoops out of that whole plastic container, I will do it. When it's hot, I don't mess around. Like, I really hate the hot weather with a passion. It's nice because at least it gives me a reason to go swimming, but other than that, I just hate it because it drains your energy, it makes you sweat like a pig, and literally, you can't go a day outside without moving. You'll end up literally sweating crazy. It's ridiculous. And not just that, imagine you have to wear as an overall. Imagine you working as a chef, right? You're forced to wear overalls in the kitchen. So imagine inside the kitchen is already extremely hot because everywhere is closed out. There's barely any ventilation to begin with, and you're wearing a whole overall outfit in the kitchen because that's the company policy in the catering business, and you're there sweating your ass off in that heat. You have the heat from the outside, and then you have the heat from the kitchen. That is a nightmare. Not to mention the worst part, imagine they tell you, hey, you have to go in the walk-in fridge to get some ingredients. So imagine you get super hot in the kitchen because it's extremely unventilated area, and then you go in the walk-in fridge, and then you get blasted with cold air. That's a perfect ticket to, you know, to catching a cold or getting sick. Because you're like shocking your body with quick temps. So imagine that. That is not fun at all, chat. Especially working in these companies, in the catering businesses, it's a problem, especially when they are forcing you to wear these overalls. So I will never imagine myself being in that situation ever again. It is not fun. Like, don't get me wrong, I love to cook. I love to make people happy with food. That is 100% I love doing. But the moment you force me to wear something in this insane weather, just because it's company policy, when even yourself is sweating crazy, and just because you can do it, other people have to do it, it's ridiculous. Like, it's really ridiculous. So, I don't know about you, chat. Like, would you actually wear the whole outfit for 8 hours in that heat? Because I sure as hell wouldn't. That would be insanity over 9,000, really. It's crazy. You scream, I scream. I scream a lot of ice creams. By the way, T-Aquarium, thank you so much for popping in. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. And Dark Alias, thank you again for the 13 days of stream streak, my guy. I appreciate the heck out of you. Thank you for being a really incredible netlink. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very, very much for your lovely support. Also, T-Aquarium, how you been? Why am I getting bullied again? What did I do now? Everybody loves to throw pipes. Well, specifically Dark Alias, but yeah. Totally not something rare whatsoever at this point. Yeah, again, I appreciate you guys for being here. So yeah, today we're gonna have... Excuse me. Today we're gonna be having some VupeChatting experience. So that's what's gonna happen. Thanks for the lurk, Frogo. And we're gonna go ahead and jump into VupeChat, and we're gonna meet some people, have some fun conversation, that kind of stuff, and just basically chill vibe. That's basically the whole thing we're gonna do. Not to mention updates on the debut. Basically, there is works in progress. Oh my god, rings! Lots of rings! That's a lot of rings, my guy. That's a lot of rings. So much rings to feed me. Thank you for the rings. Appreciate it. Giving me extra speed. I like the extra speed, my guy. Thank you for that. Cool beans. Well, basically, yeah. Just, we're gonna vibe today. We're gonna have a nice chill time. So I hope you guys are ready to have a nice conversation. So first things first. Everybody been okay so far? How has your day been going? Everybody been surviving in this weekend? Besides people complaining that it's super hot, I understand that. But besides that, are you guys happy despite the heat? Is everyone feeling okay so far? I tried to put a ring on you. Ha! Nice one. Well, too bad I already have one on my finger. Would you like to take it? Don't worry, it's just a fake ring, just to give myself some Cosmo powers. You know, like wearing rings in Skyrim, they give you like additional buffs. Basically, that's the kind of ring I have. Yeah, if you want to take this ring, come over here and take it. I dare you. Not a threat, but you can try. It's a very nice ring. So it's only from Tamu. It's fine. It's a cheap-ass ring. I mean, it could be a candy ring. You never know. I like candy. You know, that's the funny thing about me, is that I like a lot of random weird stuff. So it could be literally anything at this point. It could be a consumable ring. Could be anything. I mean, I'm a crazed individual, so I can literally have loads of rings on my fingers and you won't even know that. Spoiler alert, I don't, but I can have. Pretty interesting random stuff that I could have. Yeah, really just random stuff that I sometimes buy. You like me since I'm random weird stuff? Yeah, I usually like that stuff. You know, if it's something cheap and something randomly cool, sometimes I might consider it. You know, like, because, I don't know, I'm just the kind of person that likes weird random shit. Of course, if it's cheap and obviously legal to buy, obviously, you know, like, I would love that kind of stuff, because if it's something that can be used for a purpose, not just for collecting's sake, even more reason I would want it. Whether if it's like a cup holder or a weirdly, like, for example, there's like weird 3D printed cup holders. So there's a lot of really awesome, cool designs that can be used. And this is just cup holders. Like, I've seen my fair share of weird cup holders. So I'm just giving a random idea. It could be anything at this point. Literally. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that can be made. Especially with 3D printing, where people can 3D print almost anything as long as it has a support beam and it connects. People can literally design anything in 3D mode, and they can literally print it. That's the power of technology. You can literally almost 3D print anything. It will not be functional. It may break. That is literally the norm. If you don't design something well, that might happen. But you can 3D print a lot of cool stuff. Even like random shit. Like custom shit that you won't find online for free. Or you might find them, but they will cost you a lot of money. Because they are not easy to make. So you can imagine there's a lot of thinking process behind it. In fact, that's what I like about 3D printing. It gives you the freedom to make literally anything. Whatever your brain imagines, it can be the most random shit. If you know how to make a 3D version of it, you can basically print it. You can literally print a Nathan for free. You can. All you need is a 3D is a 3D blueprint. You can literally design Funko Pops. You can literally print statues. In fact, that's the #1 most common thing people love to 3D print is statues. Whether if it's Dragon Ball, Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, you can 3D print pretty much big-ass statues. So that's the #1 probably common thing that people love to print, including like, you know, like cosplay props, which is something people love to 3D print, you know, like using PLA. Or sometimes in small, fine details, they will use resin, even though resin is extremely expensive and messy. But yeah, people will end up using like different variety of materials to make really cool stuff, whether if it's statues or cup holders or pretty much anything. As long as they know how to make the 3D blueprint itself, they can make anything. Of course, how stable it is, that is debatable depending on the print itself. But it can be done. I mean, it's not rocket science. Of course, you need to have the knowledge. I don't have the knowledge because I don't even have a 3D printer. So I'm the wrong guy to ask. Of course, there are people here that knows how 3D printing works, so you can obviously ask them. But I don't know jack shit about how the whole blueprint stuff works. How you can make, like, there is a software that you use to make prints, like for 3D, so that the printer can recognize and read. I just don't know how complex it is. It's probably very complex because you have to measure the sizing. You have to make sure the sizing is correct. You have to make sure what material you're going to use. You're going to have to see how long it takes and how to make it readable for the printer to be able to detect it. Not to mention it's a trial and error because there's moments where printer can actually misprint your item. So you got to monitor it and you have to be careful. So there's quite a lot of things that takes into consideration when you're designing your own prints, not to mention monitoring the process. It's a very delicate and complex stuff when you're starting off in printing, but it really opens up to so many things you can 3D print. That's the nice thing about it. And it's a very nice procedure as well, because the moment you start 3D printing, you can make a lot of cool stuff. For example, I can 3D print literally a mouse holder for my mouse when I don't want to use it, or I can 3D print basically a Nintendo Switch 2 controller holder. Like literally, I can make something that a friend of mine 3D printed for me is a PlayStation 3 triple controller holder. So you can put 3 controllers from the PS3 on this 3D printed holder with the PlayStation logo on it. It's really nice, not gonna lie. So you can hold 3 controllers very stable on this controller holder. And it looks very professional, it looks nice, they won't be able to wiggle out, so it's very difficult for them to fall off. It's nice. I'm telling you, it's really, really, really nice. There's so much stuff you can 3D print, including my brain. Which technically you can 3D print that. You can 3D print a brain, you can 3D print a potato, you can literally have a statue and 3D print literally anything. It could be even a face of someone, like you can do it. If you have the knowledge how to make, you know, the base 3D file so that the printer can read it, you can pretty much 3D print almost anything. It's an impressive piece of equipment and technology. It's really nice. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I always wanted a 3D printer, but you need the space, knowledge, and time for it. And including the money, because material is not cheap. Depending on what you're 3D printing. If you're 3D printing with PLA, you can get away with getting it at a very good bargain price. If you're 3D printing with resin, that's even more expensive because resin is much more durable as a material, and it also is incredibly more messy to 3D print. In fact, a lot of people have to wear masks when they 3D print with resin, because the fumes that it leaves when you're using resin to print can be very toxic. And someone like me who's asthmatic, if you're going in an area which is closed and you're trying to 3D print with a resin material, you can seriously, you know, risking yourself big time, because first of all, the fumes are toxic, and second of all, for someone asthmatic like me, it can trigger pretty badly. So it's not just, you know, you going in 3D printing and that's it. There's quite precautions and also knowledge and stuff you have to take into consideration. But besides knowing all of that, it's nice to 3D print. I think it's a very awesome technology, which I'm very honored that people use to do stuff like statues and anything, really. It's really nice. It's very cool. So there's that. So yeah, Dark Alias, would you like a statue even though I don't have a 3D printer? Would you like that? Would you like that, broski? You would like a 3D printed Nathan on your wall so you can basically grab a pipe out of your arsenal and beat the crap out of it? Bully me when I'm not there. Imagine. One-on-one statue of Nate. You know what? Oh, we got an ad break. Let's wait a little bit for the ad break. So we're gonna take a moment to relax. I'm gonna go ahead and drink some Pepsi. In the meantime, we're gonna BRB after 35 seconds. We're gonna start doing some VU chatting and get back into chatting. So at the moment, I'm just gonna sip on my Pepsi while we wait for the ad break to finish. So everybody, grab your Pepsi, grab your popcorn. Let's just munch and drink while we wait for the ad break to finish. So cheers to that, everybody. Cheers to Pepsi. All right, we got 6 seconds left. Let's wait for a little bit. And we're gonna jump into some VupeChat, everybody. All right, welcome back from the ad break, everybody. Hope you had a nice ad break. I was just chugging down some Pepsi. Hell yeah, Pepsi win. W Pepsi, y'all. Pepsi good. To be fair, Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, they're all amazing. I just like Pepsi more, just because of the citrusy flavor of it. But that's just a preference. I love everything, to be honest. Not to mention, I like the logo of Pepsi. So, yeah. Big fan. So, yeah, pretty much that's me giving you a little bit of knowledge in 3D printing. I'm not an expert by any means. Far from it, you know, but 3D printing is a very awesome technology. You know, that's the thing I like so much. By the way, not to mention, I have some emotes which are literally on the making. Not to mention a profile picture that is also in the making, everybody. So things are going very damn awesome. So I can't wait to show you guys some really cool stuff. So you can imagine so much work and money and time are going to be put, and you guys are going to have about 10 emotes which are static and 2 emotes which are animated, and they're gonna be really good, guys. I think you're gonna enjoy the crap out of these emotes. Like, they're very nice, they're very expressive, like you can use these to express yourself very nicely. So if you're a big fan of expressing yourself with emotes, you're going to enjoy these. These are really, really, really brand on point top emotes. They're, not to mention, the other emotes are amazing, you know, they all have their own art, but these specific ones are gonna be on brand because they will match the model itself, and it's gonna be super cool, guys. It's gonna be on brand. I'm gonna have another emotes as well. It's gonna be nice, I will tell you that. I am very looking forward to the new stuff for rebranding. It's gonna be good. So I'm very looking forward to it. So besides that, all the people out there on the internet, we are going to jump into VupeChat. For those of you who don't know what VupeChat is basically like Omegle, except it's much more safer, and it is only hosted for VTubers. And the nice thing that this system has is that if anybody tries to abuse the system by doing something that breaks the rules, there is a system embedded into this website where it will automatically detect if it basically breaks the rules, and it will block that person from having to access into VupeChat. The downside is obviously people can still exploit it. That is unfortunate, but the nice thing is that so far in VupeChat, everybody's been so nice, everybody's been wonderful, and there hasn't been any inappropriate stuff happening because, you know, the people behind VupeChat, they are quick to action and they're doing a wonderful job in keeping the space amazing and positive as much as possible for VTubers as much as they can. and it's a really nice place to meet new people. So it's really awesome. Like, I really had a great experience with it. So far, I really enjoyed the crap out of it. So, yeah, really, really awesome. So, people on the internet, we're gonna jump into some VupeChat, and we're going to have a little conversation with people. Hopefully, we get to meet some. I noticed there's not a lot of people joining in on Sunday. What is up with that? What is going on? It's like barely any people are joining into VupeChat whatsoever. What is happening? It's like people gave up on VupeChat. I remember back in the days, there used to be 20 people or more. Now it's like I barely heard any news about VupeChat. I don't know what the heck's going on. It's like people gave up on VupeChat entirely. Maybe something happened or I missed something. I don't know. But it's very weird because I remember people talked like crazy about VupeChat, including people tried to persuade Iron Mouse to join into VupeChat. So it's a little bit weird. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky to say because I don't really know what's going on at this point, but maybe something will happen, or maybe they're working on something behind scenes. I don't know what's going on. So I really do not know at this point. We'll see. We'll see. So we're going to jump into VupeChat, everybody. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and into VupeChat. Let's go and have some conversational time. So I'm just going to go ahead and join into the VupeChat experience. I'm going to go ahead and launch VupeChat. So just going to go in there. By the way, all the awesome people out there, I have an interesting question I would like to talk about. So be honest with me, chat, and I will be fully honest with you as well. Because I'm not going to sugarcoat things if, you know, obviously, if I have things which I am against, obviously I'm still going to say that I have those things because, you know, like, it wouldn't be fair to shit on something when you legitimately have them. So, and what I'm talking about is video games at this point. So, all the people out there, how many of you prefer digital games over physical games? I'm curious to know about that. Again, no shame. You know, like I say, physical and digital, they all have their ups and downs. But I'm curious to know how many of you prefer digital over physical. Because not gonna lie, I would be lying if I said I didn't have over more than hundreds of games on Steam, which are all digital. So I have God knows how many games I have on Steam. I probably have more than hundreds of games on Steam. They are all digital because they are Steam, and Steam always been with the digital media. So definitely I have a crap ton of digital media. But I'm going to be honest with you, if Steam had the option where you can click another button next to the purchase button and you can have the ability to buy physical media, I would buy physical media with a heartbeat. I think a lot of people would do that. To be honest, if I had the option that I can own a PC game now and get it physical, I would. I literally would. But sadly, a lot of the PC games, there's literally no PC games where you can get them physical at this point. Like, at this point onwards, for PC, it's been literally already like digital from way before. The only times I remember physical games were actually physical for PC is back in the days when we used to get, you know, those CD drives from cereal boxes. Remember back in the days, guys, when we used to get physical games from cereal boxes, like those Scooby-Doo mini games? Those were the good old times. You know, like from Cocoa Pops, and you get those really awesome mini games from Scooby-Doo, like Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and you get like bonus games in it. You get like the Cocoa Pops game, and then you get the other game in it. Those were the good old times. Also, welcome on in, T! Hello, guys! Welcome on in to the Starlight Sanctuary! I welcome you in, everybody, with lots of hugs and love. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Welcome to VupeChat! How is everybody doing? Happy, beautiful Sunday. Thank you so much for the lovely raid. How was your stream, T? Did you have a good time? And a happy, beautiful Sunday to you, friendo. Hope you're happy. Hope you're good. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Even though there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening, which is nothing new, but yeah. Yo, how are you doing, T? How was the stream? Did you have a good time? Silver Rose 666. Welcome on in to the Starlight Sanctuary. Hope you enjoy your stay. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Also, we got Waynimus Prime. Thank you so much for joining in. How are you doing, guys? Thank you so much for coming in from the raid. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, everybody, for being here. Yeah, but basically, we're just having a conversation about stuff. Now I just ended up, talking about asking people how many of you actually owns digital copies of games and physical copies. And to be fair, I literally just mentioned that I own, here's the funny thing is, I am against digital media, but at the same time, I would be lying if I didn't say that I don't own more than hundreds of games on Steam, which are literally digital games. Not that I wouldn't pay for physical media if it was an option, but sadly, I don't ever see that as an option for PC because, as I was mentioning, remember, guys, back in the days, I'm gonna bring back some memories. Maybe this will jog some nice memories. How many of you remember back in the days where you used to get CD games from Cocoa Pops, from cereal? Like Treasure Planet. Do you guys remember Treasure Planet? From the cereal boxes? You know those mini games you get? Remember those times? Remember the Scooby-Doo games from the Cocoa Pop cereal boxes? You get the whole Scooby-Doo mini game, and you get a bonus game, and you get the Cocoa Pops mini game. Those were the good old times, man. Let's be real. Not to mention, here's another factor. How many of you remember where we used to buy PS3 version of Skyrim 5, and we used to get that big-ass map along with the physical copy for no extra charge? Remember those? Oh yeah, I remember those. I remember that very clearly. Remember that beautiful map that you used to get so you can mount it on your wall? Guess what? That doesn't happen no more. That doesn't happen. And here's the worst thing. People pay a crap ton of money for collector's edition. A friend of mine, I think it was Husky, that told me, and I agree with him, I think the best collector's edition on the market, in my opinion, was God of War 2018, because God of War had one of the most badass collector's edition out there. I believe you get Thor's hammer, you get some I believe you get some dice set, from Dungeons and Dragons, you get the dice set, which is really cool. I believe you get some 3D printed coffee stamps or something. Those mats, you put the coffees on top of them, you get these Viking mats, which are really cool. Not to mention, there was an instruction manual that comes with the collector's edition of God of War. Those were, nowadays, the problem I see myself, maybe I could be wrong, I don't see the collector's editions being that hype either. They're becoming a little bit of a letdown. You don't get the same amount of stuff that you used to get when you paid for, collector's edition beforehand. It's even the collector's editions are becoming degraded, let alone, physical media and that kind of stuff. It's really concerning if you put it that way. It's really, really, really crazy what's been going on. And I hate that with a passion. I really hate that with a passion. Or, let me give you another memory. Do you guys remember those dragon minigames where you have Windows XP and then you have the whole screen changes to the animation of the dragon? You float around, you see a dragon floating around, you see the background changes when you interact with the dragon. Kind of like How to Train Your Dragon, but instead it had this dragon minigame. You feed the dragon starts growing. Then when he gets into adult version, it unlocks a minigame, and then you can play a minigame, and then there's these really cool interactions. Basically, it's a game on the wallpaper of Windows XP. Those were cool shit. Let's be real. Those were the good old times, man. I want those times back. What the fuck happened to those times, man? Come on. Games we used to get in cereal boxes? Those were the good times, man. Especially, I remember the best game I got from cereal boxes is Treasure Planet. Those mini games were extremely fun. Really fun, chat. I miss those times, not gonna lie. To be honest, I'm fully digital nowadays because of the time the digital PS5 was cheaper to buy than the physical. That's fair. In fact, that's one of the advantages. I agree with you about digital. So that's completely fair. I can't remember the last time I bought a game physically. I'm on PC these days. But even when I was on console, I pretty much always bought digital since about 2008. That's completely fair because I understand that digital has always been the budget-friendly of physical games because the real truth behind stuff, just to give you guys a little knowledge, physical media, the reason they always been more expensive is because the company itself is paying for extra labor, which then are being covered by the consumer. Why? Because basically with physical copies, they're paying for the shipping, they're paying for the CD, they're paying for the artwork, and you're also paying for the case. So that's extra labor coming out of the company's pocket. Even though technically speaking, what they're trying to do now, which is really stupid in my opinion, they're trying to sell you a case with a digital code. So technically, the pricing of digital media, which has been proven online, they're becoming more expensive, almost as expensive as physical media, which is really stupid in my opinion. Because why should I pay the same amount of cost for an empty case with a code? You might as well just send me the code on email. So that makes it even more cheaper. So why am I paying for a case with a digital code and it's just empty plastic? Like, why would I spend the same amount of cost for a case that it's empty? People don't want that. People want value. But that's not value. That's kind of like ripping people off. Because you're just paying for the empty case. So you're just paying for the extra labor just so you can get a case which is empty, really? You know, like, I feel that it's a little bit wrong. But that could be just me. But then again, I think the biggest concern about what's been going on is ownership. That is the biggest concern that's been happening. Because it is not fun coming back from work or anything like that, not using an account for a long time, and then you come back and you lose everything. That is beyond wrong. In fact, I wish that companies, when they make that button to purchase something digital, they shouldn't call it purchase, they should call it rental. Because technically that's what you're doing, you're paying for a license, you don't have ownership. So technically you are renting out something, so I don't understand why they wouldn't change the name purchase in the button when you buy something and just call it renting, because technically that's what you're doing, you're renting a game, you're renting the license of something, and you're not actually owning anything. They can just take away the game from you and you don't get any refund. You lost all your money and you lost everything just like that, just because they can do it. You signed the terms and conditions and they have every right to do it. Doesn't matter if it's a justifiable reason, you lost everything. You lost everything on that account. It's really stupid in my opinion. Like, come on. Why is that even a thing to begin with? But it's pretty obvious. It's because of the fact that they're having licensing problems. They're trying to use that as an excuse to shut down stuff. And with that going on, they're capitalizing on it. And they're trying to, with the whole digital mindset, they're trying to retain full ownership by the company and not the consumer. And at that point, they can do whatever the heck they want. It wouldn't stop Sony from taking away everyone's privileges on gaming, and people lose everything. And guess what? The consumers are the one to suffer because they will keep the money. You won't you won't literally get jack shit. That's kind of the thing that's scaring people the most, and it happened already. That's kind of the problem. It's literally been happening already. People literally lost their whole streaming services from the PlayStation library. They had some movies they were hosting in the library. People already lost to that whole service. And trust me, they lost a lot of money, the consumers, because of that. It's insane. So, not that I'm, not that I want to shame or anything like that, but if I were you, I would think about it twice before you start buying, like, any, like, subscription services to literally view stuff. I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy streaming services, obviously, but you should be very careful where the streaming services are coming from. Then again, the risk is literally everywhere. So just because Sony is getting the most backlash, it doesn't mean that Microsoft are not doing the same wrong as Sony is. And same with other big giant corporate companies that makes millions, if not billions of dollars, who knows, every month. So you still got to be careful where you buy these things. But at the same time, I think the main concern, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but if you had full ownership in digital games, I don't think there would be this whole controversy. I think if digital media was something that the consumer would still maintain the full ownership, I don't think people would be that pissed. They would still be pissed because they like to have physical collection and all that, but at least having full ownership, at least you have full control. And that's what they're trying to do, companies. They're trying to push away from having, your consumer rights to physical stuff. And I think that's the biggest problem, because why should you, the consumer, that you have all that library of games, be taken away from you just because the company screwed up with the licensing? Why is that? Then why don't you just go ahead in the library from the company's side, change it from purchase and make it to renting? They might as well do that, right? Because you're not owning anything. You just have the license. You don't own jack shit. So, I don't know, Chad. Maybe they should just change the naming. Because in my opinion, it's very misleading. And they are two different things. When you're purchasing something, it's you maintaining ownership. So, for example, if I bought a mouse, if I bought a keyboard, if I bought a tower or a microphone, purchasing it usually means, by definition, owning entirely the product. But if purchasing means, from Sony and other companies' perspective, that you're not owning something 100%, then it's not purchasing, it's completely renting, which is literally what the definition is. It's like, for example, let's say you're renting a house, and you and your buddy go stay in this house because you rented it for, let's say, 5 weeks. You don't own the house because you didn't buy permanent ownership, but it is still your property for that limited duration that you paid for. After the duration is gone, the ownership is when back. So technically, the ownership actually is still the person who has the property, which is the original person that bought the property. So technically, you're paying for permission to stay in that property. That's license. And technically, once that license expires, the property goes back to the first person that basically owned the property. So I guess that probably makes sense why it's called a license, right? Because you own something for a limited time, but then once the membership is gone, basically it's gone. The ownership is no longer yours, right? That's basically what a license is. So I don't know. It's a little bit complex per se, but it's important to know these things, in my opinion. But I think you guys wouldn't mind having a little bit of discussion about this, right? If you guys are cool with that, I appreciate it. So I hope you guys don't mind having a conversation. We're not gonna be toxic about it. We're gonna have a civilized conversation. It's okay to disagree, and I completely respect that. But I don't want people, being, pissy and all that. I want people to still respect each other. Like, I disagree with some things Ronnie said. Sorry to put you on the spot there. But it doesn't mean I hate anybody, Like, I disagree with some things, and that's fine. But, we can still have these topics to be aware of some situations, which I think it's really important to talk about them. Because I'm assuming you guys are gamers, right? You guys like games. I'm sure it's important to know what's been going on, right? So, think about it. I don't think it's such a bad thing to know these things at all. 95% of my game collection is physical. 95% of my game collection is physical. The only time I get digital games is when myself and my partner want to play. And instead of paying for 2 copies, I buy a digital so we can game share. Technically, that's actually very fair. Very completely fair. I respect that. In fact, I'm on the same page as you. Like if you're talking PlayStation, I literally have all of it physical. I don't have a single, to be fair, correction. I'm a little bit different when it comes to PlayStation. If it's PC, that's 100% digital, not even a question. If it's PlayStation, 100% physical. Like, there's barely any games on the PS4. Maybe at 2 I have. Maybe I'm just putting what I think of on top of my head. But all the other games I have on the PS4 are completely physical. Bloodborne, Last of Us, God of War, completely physical. So, if it's console, 100% physical. If it's PC, 100% digital. Well, physical, maybe there is 1 or 2 which are digital, but for the most part, 97, 96% are physical. Just to be accurate as possible. So, more or less, yeah, more or less. And that's my problem, Ronnie. That is what I was saying, that I don't like where this is going. It's becoming more BS than ever. Even collector's editions are becoming degraded. Where are the times we used to get like collector's edition? Like, for example, the God of War 2018. That was one of the best collector's editions I've ever seen in my life. You literally get Thor's hammer. You get like D&D dice cube set. You get like a physical copy of the game itself. You get a code for some digital artwork and some stuff like that. You also get like these coffee mug mats, you know, with the Viking symbol on them. I believe there was other cool stuff. You probably get like a pen, literally with the God of War symbol, probably something like that. Now you just don't get jack shit. In fact, I think the controversy started, which you're probably gonna agree with this, I think Sony is the one that started this whole crap. You know why? Because they introduced the collector's edition for Spider-Man. And I remember in the collector's edition, people were angry because in the collector's edition, there was no physical copy of the game in it. There was nothing. No physical whatsoever. The only thing you get in the collector's edition is literally a digital code. There was no physical game in the collector's edition of Spider-Man. And people were not happy. I think it was Spider-Man 2 or maybe 1, I'm not sure. I think it was the new one. But people were not happy at all, man. And I don't blame them. Like, if I'm buying a collector's edition, I should get the game physical. Why should I pay for collector's edition and get digital? It doesn't make any sense. You cannot collect digital stuff. It is not what collector's edition is known for. So why should I accept to pay extra money for a digital code? It doesn't make sense whatsoever. If I thought you disliked or hated me, yeah, that's fair. No, I understand. Sometimes I can be a little bit direct, but it's not in a way to be mean. I try to be as open-minded as I possibly can. If I know something is really wrong, I will not be afraid to call people out. But I do it in the most respectful possible way because I don't want to be like a douchebag. I know some people will go far and beyond to be assholes. I don't want to be like that. You know, I want to have a disagreement, but I want it to be more civilized. On the other hand, if people are going to be complete toxic, that's a different story. But I still want to address these things in the most professional way. Because, you know, I want to show people that I can be a good example, and I don't want to have a long-ass debate on things that make me uncomfortable, you know? So I just try to be reasonable as I possibly always can. Because I think that's probably the most sensible thing to do. Then again, I am pissed off at big corporate companies, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I am very pissed off. Just like all the other people, they have every right to be pissed off. Because this is not normal, by any means. Let's see. Well, changing the word... Hold on, let me see. Well, changing the word from buy, purchase to rent doesn't solve the underlying issue either. Storefronts and publishers should be required to be more transparent. I agree with you. Yes, that is also another big controversial thing why people are angry at Sony and not as much as towards Microsoft, because at least Microsoft, in a way, they tried to word it in a way that it's understandable. The problem with Sony, they are twisting stuff, especially in the terms of conditions, which is incredibly vague in some areas. And it's a very interesting persuasion tactic that they are trying to push this ideology to force people to go digital. And it's really a big problem because obviously from a business standpoint, they will market that digital is all good and all that, but they don't understand that digital has its own disadvantages too. So yeah, it's a very huge problem. And to be fair, they need to be more clear. I think one of the biggest problem is transparency. Without if transparency was even a thing in companies, I think we wouldn't be having this huge debate that's going on online. I think if they were more clear, I don't think people would be that pissed. Like, they're still going to be upset, but not as much as what they're doing because, first of all, they just dropped this announcement out of nowhere, and second of all, they haven't even replied to the controversy that's been going on. Sony has published that a few days ago, and Sony did not even give out a reply on why they're doing it. They still haven't justified why they're moving to digital media, why they are confirming that they are killing off physical media for good. They haven't confirmed it, but people are not stupid. They know why they're doing it. It's because they know they can profit and capitalize more on digital media. Because, like I said, they don't want to pay for that extra labor. They don't want to pay for the shipping, for the art, for the disc, for the case itself. That's extra money coming out of the company's production. And they know since the profit margin is not the same as digital media, they don't want to put that extra money in making physical games. So that's why, for them, it's like a loose end, because they can save money on the other hand, but then on the other hand, they are screwing other people that really know the importance of physical media. And it's not just about you owning the game, it's about the fact that you can sell, you can borrow it, you can sell to people, you have full ownership, which is the most important thing that people care about, which there's a good reason why. And if anything happens to your account or their services stops, you still have access to that game. That's the thing. So there's a very good reason why people love physical, because it has also a huge advantage compared to digital. Digital has its own advantages too, but then again, digital also has a lot of disadvantages just like the physical. But then again, I mean, if I were to choose between full ownership and giving full ownership to the company, obviously I want the full ownership, because I don't want to have hundreds of libraries of games on an account and then I come back the next day and be like, oh wait, what happened to my games? Oh, guess what? The company got shut down. Oh, am I gonna be getting a refund for the games? And the company goes, refund? You silly guy. Refund? Refund? You already used the product, you already lose the license. Did you read the terms of conditions? You're basically screwed, my guy. You ain't getting jack shit. So, and that's what happens when a full ownership is retained by the company. They can do whatever the heck they want. And that's kind of the problem. So, I don't think I can make it more clear than that. That's the real truth. That's what's been going on. It's crazy. And to be fair, I think the situation has been going on for years. For years, guys. And keep in mind another thing as well, for those of you who didn't know. Physical media was firstly introduced, I could be wrong, but I researched this. Physical media was firstly introduced in PlayStation because PlayStation as a concept, as a console, was first published, and then Xbox came after the PlayStation. So the first ever PlayStation that was manufactured a few years before Xbox. Xbox got manufactured a few years after the first PlayStation came out. So Xbox literally had this concept after so the true physical media behind games was first started off by Sony, because I think, actually no, I could be wrong. I think there are much other consoles which are older than PlayStation which had this whole physical media in the process. To be fair, I think could be PC. I could be wrong. I don't really know. Because here's the interesting part. Windows XP, we had physical media for games, for PC games. So I don't know if PlayStation was the oldest console that had physical media, or it could be PlayStation, or it could be something from the Nintendo. I could be wrong. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know what was the first ever console from the first ever company that released it. I think it could be Nintendo. I could be wrong. Or maybe it was PlayStation. I don't know. I think it was probably Nintendo. Or I don't know. Or maybe PC. It could be PC. I think it was PC. But I don't know. But physical media was here for a long time. Like a long time. Late 70s game-wise. Damn. So you see, physical media has been here for many, many years. So you see how important physical media really is. PC! Oh, the Atari! Oh yeah, the Atari, oh my goodness. That is some good old times. But you see, so I was kind of right. So PC was actually close enough to being the first ever device that had the whole physical media from the start. That's actually very fair. So technically PC was the closest thing to being the number one to it. That's actually pretty damn awesome. I didn't know PC was the number one. But then again, I remember the CDs from the cereal boxes, so I was like, it could be PC, because I remember back in the Windows XP time. So I wasn't far off. I'm like, probably PC had something to do with it. I wasn't too far off. PC and first home consoles would have had physical media. Yeah, exactly. Again, from those cereal boxes. Those were the good old times, guys. So, yeah, I mean, imagine how people were so angry when, PC physical media basically died out. Because then people were forced to buy games from these digital companies like Steam, Epic Games. So people weren't too happy at all. But I think the biggest problem that people are pissed off the most is that Sony was another global company that is well known for the best physical media games possible. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like the exclusivity of any consoles. The reason I own a console, guys, it's because of the exclusives. It's because of the physical media. So, in my opinion, I like the exclusivity more on the Nintendo Switch because it has retro games which I like more. But if you're talking newer generation games which I like the most, I would definitely tell you that's PlayStation. So without a doubt, PlayStation is 100 million % that is my most preferred exclusivity when it comes to modern media. So modern media, 100% PlayStation takes the win. Especially for the graphics, for the technology, for the gameplay. But to be honest, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really too impressed by the exclusivity, because a lot of games are being ported to PC anyway, so exclusivity is dying out. So that's kind of the dumb part, is that it used to be to a concern where physical media used to be a thing, where exclusivity used to be a thing. Nowadays, not even exclusivity is gonna save their ass. Because a lot of games are getting ported. They're getting ported to PC, they're getting ported to other consoles. Horizon Zero Dawn, that used to be a PlayStation exclusive, now you can play it on PC. The Spider-Man games, they used to be exclusive, now you can play them on PC. I think even to some degree, even the Final Fantasy games, I think they used to be exclusive, now you can play them on PC. So there was a lot of exclusive games, they got ported to PC. So that's the problem. If a lot of games are coming into PC, you might as well just buy a PC. But then here comes another problem. PCs are getting more and more expensive. And even consoles are getting more expensive. And usually console is the budget-friendly option for those people who can't afford a PC. And usually PlayStation, it will give you like 5 years of games that it supports, including usually with physical media, you have backwards compatibility as well. So you can rest assured that with the PlayStation, you have at least 5 years of performance in games without any issues whatsoever. As long as games are patched, of course. But other than that, with computers, unfortunately, you can have a PC for like 3 years and then you forced to upgrade your parts. So that's kind of the problem. So there's the ups and downs in everything. That's kind of the main concern in things, you know. Also, you know what? I'm gonna pop into VupeChat. I was gonna do some VupeChat. I forgot to do some VupeChat. Let me just pop VupeChat and we can continue having this conversation. So 1 second, everybody. I'm just gonna pop in VupeChat. There you go. All right. Sorry, y'all. I'm just gonna pop in VupeChat really quickly. To be fair, there was no people on. There was barely any people. There was only 7 users. There was barely any people in VupeChat today. I don't know what's going on, chat. Where are all the VTubers? What happened? Is everyone super busy or just people gave up on VupeChat? What the heck's going on, man? What is going on VupeChat? It's like I barely see anybody. What the fuck's going on? It's like people gave up on VupeChat. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. That's kind of the funny, problematic thing. I'm actually kind of nervous, chat. I don't know what happened to VupeChat. I remember there used to be like 20, 30 people. Now there's barely anybody. Like literally anybody. If you see here, there's only 7 users, excluding me. So there's not a lot of people in here at all. I don't know what happened. I think people either gave up on VupeChat or people are just busy. Which is kind of sad because I love meeting so many new people, but now it's coming to a point where you can barely have the time to meet with people because people are not even present here. Or, I don't know, maybe they gave up on VupeChat. I don't even know anymore at this point. It's crazy. Things are just changing way too fast, man. And it's not looking good. Yeah, tape as well. Tape games, man, those were awesome. I remember those times were amazing. Let's be real, y'all. Yeah, those are awesome as heck, y'all. You guys are bringing back some awesome memories, not gonna lie. I'm actually having fun having this conversation. It's bringing a lot of awesome memories, not gonna lie. I'm gonna disagree with you on being forced to upgrade PC. I was running an outdated system until pretty recently. You're not forced to upgrade new parts. I think, so just to clarify, just to avoid confusion, I'm saying forced because if you're gonna play new games on an old PC, you're not gonna run them. So what I'm saying, if you wanna keep up with gaming per se, you're technically forced because you cannot run new games on an old device. So technically, it's like you're forced to upgrade your PC, otherwise you won't be able to play the newer games. Depending what games they are, if they're indie games, you might get away running them. If they are new games which are open world, you can forget that you're gonna run that on a toaster PC. Especially when games are evolving with new engines, you're not gonna run a game on a GTX 5070, like, no chance. It's not possible. But I mean, you don't have to upgrade. It's not, nobody's pointing a gun towards you and saying you have to upgrade. I'm just saying if you want to keep, you know, with the latest available big games out there, you won't be able to play them on old PCs. It won't run it. And technically, if you want to come to a point where you are always updated with the latest game, you're forced to upgrade because you just can't play them on the old PCs. It just won't run well. So, unfortunately, there won't be any other option. That's why I'm saying forced. Technically, you can still have a 20-year-old PC. You can still play games, but you're not going to play the newer games. Like, that's not going to happen. You could be running a low-end system and still play newer games. Depends. If you're going to play an open-world game, not going to happen. Like, I know that for a fact. Like, if you're going to try and run an open-world game, it's not going to run well. You might get away with having really shitty frames and it might run, but it's not going to run well. Depending what graphics card and CPU you have. If you're telling me you have a GTX, you can forget the whole thing. It will not run. I promise you. If it's an indie game, that's another thing. If it's indie games, they're different. And even those games can struggle. But if it's an open world game, no chance. Because there's so many things to render, it's almost impossible for the game to be handled by a very old... I think the main problem with graphics cards, it's not that they're not powerful, like raw power. They're really powerful. The problem with old graphics cards, they don't have the latest technology to run and optimize games. So when they try to run games on old graphics cards, they struggle to be optimized with the current technologies it supports. Because your graphics card doesn't have the latest technologies that the game provides. So that way it's unoptimized for the graphics card you have in your PC. I think that probably makes it even more sense, probably. But technically you can run some games. It depends what games you're talking about. If it's open world, you can forget it. It's not gonna happen. You won't get the best graphics or frame rate, but you could still play newer games technically. Yeah, I mean, you could technically play them. They will lag like crazy. You might get away with running low frames, technically here and there. But the big games, like for example, if you're gonna try and play Spider-Man, which is an open world game, on an old PC, you can forget that's going to run. And Spider-Man, believe it or not, that's one of the very optimized games. It will still run like crap on an old PC. So, like literally, there's not even for debate. If you look at the specifications of that game, it will tell you even the minimum specs. So, if you don't even have the minimum specs, it's not going to run. Probably your PC will crash. So... And again, Spider-Man is the perfect example of being one of the best optimized games for PC portability. Because it has a lot of technologies which optimizes the game. So that's the unfortunate side. It's because of the technologies, mostly. It's in your interest to upgrade every few years, though. Whereas on console, traditionally, there's no forward compatibility. That is the truth. In fact... that is why people opt for console, because it gives you kind of the thing that it will serve you like 4 years without having to worry about doing anything. PC, on the other hand, if you really want to play the new games, you might be lucky to have your old parts to run a game, but it really depends on the game itself. It's a very debatable situation depending on what games you want to play. If it's a small game, that's one thing. If it's an open world game, that's another, you know? But you're not forced... Exactly, I agree with you. You're technically not forced. You can still have an old PC. The only problem, you'll be very limited on what kind of games you can play, which are new, depending on what game it is. On console, you're truly forced as older systems get outright abandoned. And that you are correct about that. In fact... the nice thing about physical media, which digital media does not have, is that physical media, they can make physical media literally optimized for backwards compatibility. So let's say you have a PS4 and you don't have a PS5, you can technically buy physical media PS5, you can play them on PlayStation 4. So the nice thing about physical media, it has the technology compatibility to make them backwards compatible. Digital media, once you have an account tied up with specifications that it requires to run, there's no backwards or front compatibility whatsoever. That's the problem with digital media. There's no way to shift digital media to make it backwards compatible. It's just not possible. Or maybe there might be a way, but I doubt it. I doubt they would do something. I don't think there is a way to make it possible. So that's kind of the problem as well. At least physical media, they can make the option to have backwards compatibility. But digital media, they can't do that. That's the problem. That's kind of the issue. So it depends. It depends on the game and stuff like that, you know. On the other hand, I don't know, maybe they can make that backwards, but I doubt it. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible. What do you guys think? Do you think the digital media could be possible to be made backwards compatibility? I don't think so, because it's tied up to account that there's no ways that it can be I don't know how it works, but I don't think there's any technologically possible way to do it. Or unless they have to push like free updates, maybe that could be a thing, but I don't know. I don't think that's possible though. I really do not know, to be honest. But that's just me. Who knows? Digital media, they can and often do that. That's the whole reason good old games, GOG became a thing. They got their start making old Windows 05, 98 games running on modern systems. Okay, so they made old games, but to be fair, to be honest with you, that's why emulation is a thing, right? Because technically you can still have old games, you extract their data, and with emulation you can literally make anything run on any system. You can even make it run on a toaster. The only problem is that, of course, hardware-wise, without raw power, it will struggle, but you can still make it work. So technically, that's why emulation is a thing. Then again, if they make it completely portable and accessible without having to use emulation, that's even better, in my opinion. But a lot of the times when you have old games and you have new modern system, a lot of times people are forced to use emulation just because they're too old to run in the new system. I'm talking physical though, not digital. I have digital, I'm not sure how they can make that work or anything like that, so I don't... But physical, 100%, that would be the only solution. Extracting data from the CD, then trying to make it readable in emulation. But of course, emulation is a different procedure because it's a software designed to make things run on older or newer systems. They're specifically designed for that purpose. You know? I know Xbox is trying to do a disc to digital or something. They already done. That's the problem, T. They already done it. Microsoft already been doing it. They literally done it already. And people were not happy. Of course, people are more pissed off at Sony. But I think that's because there's more to it than just, you know, taking the rights off physical media. It's a problem. And PlayStation has been in the physical market much more longer than Microsoft. But I think it's more to it than just that. I think it's because it's been happening too many times between too many companies, and people are pissed off that this kind of practical way is going to become the norm in moving forward in society. And I think it's more than just the ownership. I think it's because it also plays in the role that it's taking away consumer rights. And that is completely wrong. Because, again, if I bought something, in the button itself, they should make it rent, not purchase. Because purchase, you're supposed to be owning something. But if you're not owning anything, then why call it a purchase? You should be calling it a rent. Because you're paying for a license. You're not paying for the full thing, you know? What T's saying is that Xbox are contemplating a system in the next console that will allow you to convert physical disc. Really? I thought they said that literally Microsoft are doing the exact same situation as Sony. They're literally going to release the next generation where it supports nothing but digital only. I mean, PlayStation is heading in that direction. They literally said that they're killing off physical media, so they're definitely going to make the PS6 completely digital at this point, which is not even... I don't think that's even up for debate. We all know the direction Sony is heading, so I'm pretty sure Microsoft are going to be doing the same thing. I'm sure Microsoft, when they release their next Xbox, is going to be full-on digital. Mark my words. They're going to take the same footsteps as Sony is. So there's no way that Microsoft would even have the chance. Microsoft already killed pretty much a lot of the physical media as it is. Because a lot of the times, a lot of those games, first of all, a lot of those games, people are buying them on PC. And second of all, I never heard of... They're literally... A lot of their... I don't think any of their Xbox latest supports even physical copies at all. I don't think so. As far as I know, I don't think... No, I don't think they support physical copies whatsoever. I don't think so. Exactly. I agree with you. That is the perfect sentence. But companies will never change unless the law changes. I agree with that completely. If there won't be any literally hands-on, full-on support between the good practical changes, companies will continue to do this crap. Because here is the problem. People are going to support... There are stupid people in the world, which, pardon my language, they are stupid people that will support this ideology, supporting all these multi-million, billion-dollar companies. They get nothing in return except they get taken advantage of by these multi-million-dollar companies. And the problem is, they had no reason in the first place to take away physical media. They're doing it out of greed. There's no other logical explanation. People are going up online trying to defend a multi-million-dollar company. You know what people's excuse are, chat? Do you want to know what their excuse is? I'll tell you what their excuse is. People's excuse for defending a corporate for digital content is because they're saying games are too big and they're too new that they cannot be supported in physical media. That's literally what they just said. I'm not even joking. That's literally what they quoted online. Meanwhile, we have PS5 discs. We have triple layer Blu-ray discs that supports more than 100 gigs of data. And they're saying games are becoming too big and too new that they cannot be supported in Blu-ray discs. You gotta be joking. Meanwhile, they literally had Blu-ray CDs for PS5s. You're telling me that the games are becoming too new and too big, and that's your sorry-ass excuse that companies are going to try and excuse themselves from eliminating physical media? Are you kidding me? That is the most dumbest thing people can actually insinuate. Like, we have PS5 games which are physical. What is their sorry-ass excuse? What, because GTA 6 is too big, they won't be able to fit it on one disc? Make 2 CDs. People will not complain. But, like, here's the problem. PS4, I'm pretty sure you guys know this, for anyone who has Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption 2 comes with 2 CDs. If not more, I think 2 CDs, but I don't think it comes more. But it comes more than 1 CD for sure. One which is called Data Disc, and one which is called Play Disc. So why wouldn't they do the same concept for PlayStation 6 physical games, just like they did with the PS4 for Red Dead Redemption 2? Why are they saying that because games are too new, they are trying to sound it like it's impossible to do it for physical media? It doesn't make any sense. Because they literally released PlayStation 5 physical media. So there's no way in hell I'm gonna sit here and take their word for it that games are too new, they cannot be in physical media. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous. We all know why they're really doing it, and it has nothing to do with incompatibility. Definitely not. It's because they don't want to pay for the labor costs. They are trying to capitalize and profit on digital media because they know and they have analytics proof that they're making a lot more money selling digital content. And guess what? Because they are forcing people to buy digital content because there's no other way. And to be fair, I'm saying forcing. People will literally not buy games for the most. There will still be people that pay for digital games, of course, but there's not going to be a lot after what's been going on. I can promise you that much. Especially when a lot of games, you can buy them on PC. I'm literally finding almost no reason to own a console besides for the budget purposes. But is it really worth it at this point? Like, would you really buy a console just to own everything digital? Is it really worth it at this point? When you can literally buy the same games on PC, you get them at a cheaper price. Leave it that PC costs a lot of money nowadays to buy fully custom build, but then you don't have to pay for online membership. You get much bigger discounts in games too. So is it really worth buying a console just to own digital games only? So you pay for an online membership, you get all those games. Fair enough. I agree, the PlayStation subscription is worth it. But in reality, still, you're paying for a membership to have access to those games. You don't even pay the like one-time payment, you have full ownership. At least, with digital games on Steam, for example, just to give you guys an idea, you can literally pay for a bundle and you can have more than one game in the bundle. Like, that's the thing. You know how much money I save, chat, from paying games on PC? Loads of money. A 60 euro game, you know how much I pay for them in Steam? Leave it that they're digital, but you know how much I pay for them in Steam compared to buying them as a membership on PlayStation or as a digital copy on PlayStation or any other console? 20 euros or less, sometimes even less, depending on how old the game is. Imagine how much money I'm saving. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. It's a big ass difference, especially from not having to pay a membership. So it's a big deal. It really is. Also, Jockey, welcome on in, dude. Good to see you. Hello there. Welcome to the conversation. Hope you're doing well. Can we get a shout out for Jockey, please, and all the other awesome people? Mots, can you give a shout out to these people, please? Really awesome people here. Go follow these awesome people, guys. Let me see. Blu-ray discs have a max capacity, double layered 50 gig. The only alternative is to have multiple discs. And did you, by any chance, Wayne, did you check the triple layer Blu-ray discs? They're actually a thing. They support up to 100 gigs of data. I think for PlayStation, I'm not sure if they use the double layer or the triple. But triple layer discs, they're actually a thing. So I'm not sure if consoles use a triple layer disc. I could be wrong though. I think they did. So welcome back from the ads. Welcome back. Ah, sorry, wait. Did I call you Jockey? I'm sorry, I mean Jokey. Sorry. I'm sorry. I always just misread your name. I apologize. Your name always reminds me of Left 4 Dead. I swear, if you and me, we actually collab and do Left 4 Dead content, I would be mispronouncing your name for years, man. I'm not even joking. Dude, my brain just shuts down when I see your name. Don't ask me why. I'm crazy. It's really crazy. I don't know why your name just gives me a brain fart. Maybe it's because of the color. I don't know. But it's really funny how I just mispronounce, like, I don't know where I find the C hidden in your name. It's really, I don't know. I must be a big ass potato. A really big potato. Oh, they use a double layer. Okay, interesting. So the bigger question is, what is triple layer Blu-ray discs used for then? I'm assuming they're probably used in gaming for consoles, right? At least I think so. Because I know triple layer Blu-ray discs are a thing, and they support up to 100 gigs of data. I'm not sure if they're used in consoles, though. But technically speaking, couldn't they make them usable for consoles then? If they're using double layer, what's stopping them from using triple layer discs to make them physical media for consoles? Like, that's the question then. If they really are using double layer, then why couldn't they use triple layer? That's kind of the question. Because if they can use one, then they can probably use the other, right? So I'm kind of a little bit suspicious on that. Because if they really are using double layer, then what's the question? Why are they not using triple layer? What's the reason behind that? Like, that's kind of when I want to understand why they're not using triple layer at this point. Unless they already are using it, I'm not quite sure, but it's kind of suspicious. I kind of want to get to the bottom of that. I actually want to do a bit of more research. See why wouldn't they be using triple layer and they're using double layer instead? Like, what's up with that? Is it money? Is it because more complex to make them work on triple layer, or because of technology? Like, I wonder what's the reason. Or is it because they're too slow? Like, read and write speed, they're too slow? That's kind of what I want to get to the bottom of. That's actually a very interesting point you bring up, because if they are using double layer, I'm curious to know, why aren't they using triple layer then? It's kind of suspicious. Kind of like Among Us when you play with friends and everybody just suspicious besides, you know, that one guy doing everything normal. And then you realize there's something suspicious going on. Very, very suspicious. Technically, there's a quad layer Blu-ray disc that can support up to 125 gigs. Oh, damn. Good to know. They may or not be using them. Don't know enough to actually answer. Fair enough. I actually want to research on that because if there's a quad layer, which is even better, then that, again, that brings up to my point. Why are they not using them? What's the reason? I want to research on that. Good thing we're having this conversation. I didn't even know they have quad layer. I'm going to be honest with you. That's actually interesting. I actually didn't know that. I thought they have like triple layer and that's it. It's kind of crazy. So they have even bigger option to use, which is, damn, okay. That is kind of weird. That is kind of weird. Kind of weird, honestly. I really want to research more and get to the bottom of this. I actually want to know what the heck they're doing. Why are they not using quad layer discs? What's the reason behind that? Oh my god, not Carl. Get out of here, Carl. Get out of here, Carl. Get me out of here. I don't want to talk to this bot. So Carl is one of the 7 online things. I don't want to talk to Carl. Carl is by the way, Carl is an AI interaction bot here in VupeChat, which is really annoying, and I don't like Carl, to be honest. Because he tries to scare you and all that, which is fine, but I want real people, damn it. I don't want to get matched up with an AI. I don't want AI. I want real people here. I don't want no damn AI. I want real people. These days, the disc is borderline meaningless, though. The disc only really acts as a means to install the game and a key to show you on it. You own it. I guess that's fair. But then again, you have the option to sell it. Because you have to keep in mind another thing, Waynemus Prime. Games are becoming more expensive. So having the accessibility to sell can allow you to own new games that you want. Because keep in mind, games are only going to get more expensive. I wouldn't be surprised if the norm in a few years' time, we're going to end up seeing like €100 being like the main price for digital media. Let alone for physical media. So, literally, like, that's the problem, you know? And it wouldn't be such a surprising thing. But in many cases, games need to connect to a server. Once that server goes offline, and then any copy can be rendered a paperweight, physical and digital. Fair enough. In fact, that's basically what digital... That's basically the concept of digital as well. Because digital, you're basically having to connect over the internet, over cloud, and then from the code, you'll be able to connect to the server, and then you install the data from the server online, and then you have the game itself. That's basically digital aspect. Now, physical, I'm not sure if it works the similar way, technically, because I think you have all the data on the CD itself. Maybe. I don't really know too much about how the technology behind it works. So I'm not really an expert, even though I sound like it, but trust me, I'm not an expert by any means. I'm only stating what I really, really know, and that I know the advantages and disadvantages of physical media and digital media, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, to be honest with you, they all have their ups and downs. I just feel like one shouldn't be without the other, to be honest with you. Like, everybody should have the freedom of choice and not being forced to go with one option just because there's no other way to get the game in digital or physical format, you know? Physical, you at the best have most of the data on the disk. Also, there you go. You technically have basically the safety of data on your drive itself. So if anything happens to your account, you can basically, there you go, you have the advantage that you won't lose all your data tied to your account. So technically you can just reinstall the game as many times as you want without the problem to rebuy the game. So that's one of the biggest advantages of physical media. At worst, you have none of the data on the disk. I see. So, yeah, I mean, everything has its ups and downs, you know, so everything has its own advantages and disadvantages, to be honest with you. But, yeah, pretty much, to be fair, I support both of them. I just don't like, you know, one thing being eliminated. Pretty much that's what I believe in. But patches and updates come from digital, not the disk, because if you print a game to a disk, you can only print the version that's available at the time the disk was printed. Fair enough. In fact, that's what pushes the updates. Even though, technically speaking, the updates are not something you are forced to do. Then again, updates are always something optional to do because updates will always contribute to fixing bugs, performance, patches. Because people will start saying, oh, you're kind of forced to do the updates. Not really. You can basically play a game without pushing any updates, and the game will still run okay. But there will be bugs, though. So they kind of have to make the choice whether they want to connect to the internet, get the latest patches, or they stick with the same version. So, but I mean, if it's playable, it's playable. So there's that. At least, as long as you don't get soft-locked or anything like that, I think that's probably the most biggest concern. Don't you think? Whenever you patch a game, in many cases, you're releasing a new software version. So the disk could have version 1.0. The company releases a big update to patch many bugs. That new version becomes 1.1. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's completely fair. So technically, you're still having to connect online to get the latest patches. But again, I mean, those are completely optional, you know? You're not forced to do those updates, so technically you can still run with the old version. But of course, people will recommend to update to the latest version because obviously you will have minimum problems with the games, right? Because let's face it, nobody wants to play a game glitching from one end to another, like the Matrix, literally teleporting from one end to another, you know? Like, nobody wants a buggy game as much as possible, you know? So there's that. Also, sorry, I wanted to reply to Jockey as well. So Jockey said, anyway, bro, I wiped my Terra critical mode saved by accident. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. That sucks. Oh, yikes. Dang. Well, and now you're going to have to... you're forced to replay the whole Terra critical mode. Oh, that's going to suck. I'm sorry to hear that, my guy. That is so horrible. You know what? I learned that the hard way, to be honest with you, Jockey. Like, literally, one thing I learned, and this is Frogo. Frogo was the one that literally told me, and thank God I started doing this from now on. Whenever I save a game, for the love of God, don't be a damn masochist and save only one save file. If you delete it by accident and you don't realize it, you are screwed. And trust me, I did that one time with Kingdom Hearts 2. I was angry, man. I was very angry. So be careful, guys. Don't do the same mistake. It doesn't take seconds to save multiple data files. Do not save just one. Like, trust me, you will learn the lesson the hard way. Like, don't trust it. For whatever you do, don't trust your brain. Do not try to have one and that's it. Trust me, do not trust your brain, guys. Just don't do it. I'm telling you the hassle it will bring you. And to be fair, you know, it happens to everybody, but it sucks when it happens. Imagine you're playing Elden Ring and you have so many hours and you lose all that data. at that time, I would literally want to become a boss and just incredibly go ballistic. So, yeah, I feel you. I mean, it happened to me, and it sucks. But I hope that somehow you manage to get your data back. There might be a way to get your data back, but you gotta be very lucky, though. You learned your lesson, you made backups. Well, that's really awesome. Sorry to hear that happened to you, though. That stinks. I may be laughing, but trust me, it happened to me with Kingdom Hearts 2. It wasn't fun at all. People obviously laughed because that was like the most riskiest, dumbest shit I did, but I mean, it happens to a lot of people, sadly. Man, it's not fun at all. As for your point, data loss, like losing a save file, has nothing to do with a digital or physical, as your save file is generally complete separate to the rest. In most cases, you uninstall the game, the save file still exists on your PC, console. Right, because technically when you save, so basically this is how it used to be. When you had a PS2, when you're saving something, you're saving on the memory card, not on the disc itself. The disc is only providing you game data to run the game. That's all it's doing. Wherever the data is being saved, that could be either on the hard drive itself for newer consoles or on the memory cards that was on the PS2 back in the days. Now, for digital, when you have something digital, you're not going to lose the game whatsoever, because the nice thing you have about digital is that if something happens to your console, you will not lose that data, because you can just log into any other console using your cloud account and you can basically continue playing like nothing happened. That's the advantage of digital media. Because if you had games saved locally, physical, from the disk itself to run the game with that file and data, you basically lost all the save files if anything happens to that, to your console. But if it's digital media, you won't have to worry about anything because everything is backed up on cloud. So technically, you can just log into your account, log into that game, and you can play the game like nothing happened. That's one of the advantages you have with digital media. In fact, that's the one thing I like about digital media, is that if you're worried about losing your data, with cloud storage, you actually have kind of like the reassurance that your data is still existing, because it's existing over the internet. The downside you have about digital media, which is something that people get scared the most, which they have every right to do so, is that you don't have any ownership on the games. So there's nothing stopping Microsoft, Sony, or any other triple multi-million-dollar corporations to be like, hey, you over there, I'm taking your game. You're next, and you're next, and you're next. And they just take away the game, and you be like, but Sony, but Sony, sir, Sony, am I getting my money back? Right? And they just keep walking with your game stolen, just like somebody came in and robbed you blind, and you don't get anything. The only thing you get is an empty library. That is the fact, unfortunately. That is the hardcore fact. So, yeah, sucks, doesn't it? I mean, nothing else I'd say about that. But again, you know, they have their advantages and disadvantages, so they all have their own thing, to be honest. But yeah, I'm physical media all the way, guys. Like, I grew up with physical media. I wish, you know what I really wish, guys? Like, I want you guys to spam in the chat, I agree, if you agree with this that I'm gonna say. Spam I agree in the chat if you agree that we should bring back CDs in cereal boxes. How many of you agree that video games in cereal boxes should be something that should return back? Doesn't matter how old it is, doesn't matter if it's something crazy. Like, how many of you would really love and agree that physical media should be back from cereal boxes? Because I would love that, not gonna lie. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi. I'm okay.
Good.
Is my audio okay? Is my mic okay, bro?
Get out of here, Voop Surge, not today. Yeah, your audio is pretty good.
Okay, cool. It's because it's so embarrassing. My laptop broke. My laptop, like I stream off a whatever, bro. I stream off a laptop. But I woke up one day and the LCD was damaged.
Fair.
And I have to wait 2 months for it to get fixed.
I completely feel you. It's not like I've been streaming for 5 years on Twitch, and totally not my first year I had a gaming laptop. Totally not.
I have a MacBook.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm on my phone, so I didn't know how the audio was gonna sound.
Oh, to be fair, you have a really awesome audio. So you have a godsend laptop if it sounds this great, to be honest with you. Like,
My phone? I mean, I'm on an iPhone 16 Pro Max, so...
Oh, that's why. Fair. I thought this was the quality from a laptop, because usually laptops don't have this good quality microphones at all.
No, my laptop broke. I don't have any computer. I don't have a computer at all. Yeah.
Oh. So you're doing all of this from a phone?
Yeah.
That's really impressive, actually. And holy shit, that microphone from... I mean, iPhones, to be fair, they always thrived in the quality of their camera and microphones. So it's like, makes sense, because they're really good with like manufacturing their mics and camera qualities. So that's fair.
I like Apple. It's just that their computers suck. Yeah.
I totally don't blame you, because there was a whole controversy about Apple with their monitors. Imagine spending 1.5K on a monitor, and you go to customer service on Apple and you tell them that you have warranty on this to get it replaced, and they reply back and tell you, hey, we don't have spare parts for this.
Yeah, it's a MacBook Neo, so it's one of the really new ones. So it's super hard to find parts for it, and that's why it's taking 2 months.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, they're the ones who manufactured it. Like, they should... Ultimately, if they're gonna support their warranty, they should have their own parts. Like, you as a consumer, you shouldn't be waiting all these months or years, or hopefully not years, waiting for, you know, spare parts to come in stock so they can fix your device. I think it's probably a little extreme that they wouldn't have spare parts to begin with, especially for their really expensive products. Which is kind of concerning, not gonna lie.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm like really bad at talking. I'm kind of shy.
Oh, it's okay. I'm quite a chatty bean.
It's okay. I get chatty when I'm like get comfortable. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
It's cool. I'm just, you know, I don't want to talk over you. I'm just learning to, you know, give your time to say your thing, because I have this tendency to sometimes unintentionally talk over people, because I'm a very chatty person. But, you know, I don't want to feel, you know, guilty not giving people their space and, you know, the spotlight on them to talk, you know, chat around.
For sure. I think that you're not doing that. I'm just like anxious to talk, and so because there's silence, it's better to talk.
Yeah, I agree with. Yeah, don't worry. I used to be a heavily introverted person. To be fair, I actually became an extrovert because of streaming, because of content creation.
That's why I started streaming. So I started streaming on Twitch. I've been streaming, so like, I'm an adult now, but I started streaming when I was like on YouTube when I was like 14, and I would just stream for fun.
Nice.
And it was like pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
No. And then maybe younger, whatever. And then I started Twitch when I was like 18. Yeah.
Just not to cut you off, there's a timer at the bottom. Okay, there you go. I just want to make sure, because a lot of people don't know the timer. But please go on.
I started streaming when I was like 17 or 18. And then I like started doing it for like getting some money off of it once I like was 18, yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
got affiliate in my first week of streaming, which is pretty cool.
Hell
So,
yeah, that's awesome. Love to hear that. And what do you love to stream?
I do just chatting because you can't stream games off a laptop. Not even games on Google. Like Jackpot yeah.
To be honest, I'm on the same boat because when I had my gaming laptop, the only game I could stream was Dead by Daylight. And then they patched it up and they released Unreal Engine, and it became such a heavy intensified game, even though it's not like it's one of those typical open world, that it just stopped functioning. It was lagging like pretty badly, and I was forced to literally buy a PC because otherwise I couldn't move on to play new games unless I upgrade to another laptop or PC or something. So it got outdated very quickly within like 1.5 years of using it. It's really crazy.
I can't really work because, okay, so I do. Are you live?
Yeah. Indeed, I am.
I do silly work. That's what I'm going to say. What I do is like charity work. Why? Because, like, I can't cash out the money because I get the money I get on Throne. You know what Throne is?
Mm-hmm. I have Thrones.
Okay. So I get the money I get on Throne, and I just like, I try to find people in like second or third world countries who would like need it more than me, and I kind of like just give them some, I guess.
Okay.
Because I can't do anything with the money. I can't do anything with it. So like, yeah, I just, yeah.
It's kind of, I see.
Sorry. Sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. No, but I completely understand you. You know, like, same. I was in the same situation with the whole laptop thing. So to be fair, I'm very fortunate to be where I am. I'm just very lucky to have a really supporting community. And to be honest with you, I took years to save up to buy what I have. So I'm just really fortunate to be in this position. So not everyone.
I heard right now it's like the worst time. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yep. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead. You were saying?
Okay, so like I heard right now it's like the worst time to buy a PC because of like how high RAM is.
I can tell you that for a fact because I happen to be an IT technician, and I've been studying on, so I know, yeah. Things are going crazy expensive in PC.
What about in like a few years? Do you think it'll be worse in a few years?
No, definitely no. Absolutely not. In fact, in a few years, it's only going to get more expensive. But you know why? We have AI to blame for that. It's because of the whole AI inflation.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, one stick of RAM costs like $900 or something, or two sticks of RAM costs like $900 or something, and because of AI, and because some RAM companies they switched to making RAM for AI only. You know, is that right?
Yep.
And now it's like so expensive.
Exactly.
So,
yep. Because the reason behind it is that what happened is the companies out there that were manufacturing AI, they were buying off the whole RAM production, and companies were getting so much RAM sold out in a matter of minutes, like literally minutes, that companies out there, they were falling very far behind in manufacturing for RAMs, that they used that excuse to rise up prices to try and push big multimillionaire companies away from buying off too much RAM at one go for their whole AI production. And because of that, they saw how much profit margin they were doing because of this whole AI business from those AI manufacturing companies, that it ended up raising so much prices for consumers. So consumers like yourself and me, we end up having to pay literally an enterprise level pricing just because other companies bought off so much RAM that they had the excuse to rise it more. So now, from 150 euros worth of RAM, now you're going to end up paying triple the amount for that. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to see the prices go even more, especially for graphics card, for RAM. In fact, the biggest problem that's happening with parts, because a lot of consoles, in fact, I'm pretty sure, like the PS5, for example, it has a PC hard drive, it has a PC graphics card custom made. So if parts are going up, so are consoles, because consoles are literally having PC parts built inside of them. So the moment that they go up in price, not just PC, even consoles are going to get more expensive. Like, in fact, a lot of people have been saying that I wouldn't be surprised if the PlayStation 6 is going to be minimum at least 1K. It's not even going to be surprising if that happens. So it's ridiculous.
It sucks because like it's not very like America. I don't know where are you from?
I'm from Malta. I'm from Malta.
Sorry? Malta.
Yeah.
Is that like...
Basically, it's a very tiny island under the foot of Italy in the EU.
Oh! Parli in Italiano? Do you speak Italian?
Not exactly. I understand it. Even though I kind of wanted to learn, but I'm not that good at Italian, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm learning it. I'm like part Italian, so I decided to learn. I'm Italian American, right? So.
Oh, cool. Nice. That's pretty cool.
It's actually maybe might be an island close to you, Sardinia. Sardinia. Do you know where that is?
It could be. Yeah.
I know it's a southern island, south of Italy, and yeah.
Could be very close then.
And that's where my grandpa was from, and then he immigrated to America, and then had my dad. Yeah.
Okay.
But whatever. Sorry.
Interesting.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, to be honest with you, like, it's really cool because there's so many like countries, and you know, and then to be honest with you, the language itself, it's like multi-languageable because our language that we have has a little bit of Arabic. There's a little bit of Italian involved. There's very tiny influence of Spanish, not so much, but a little bit. So it's more of a multicultural language that we have.
Can you speak Arabic? Can you speak Arabic?
No, but no, not at all. Not at all. It's influenced by Arabic, but we don't really. There are some people that know Arabic, but I think those are people that probably lived in the 80s or 70s, probably, because.
Oh.
Yeah, like really, like people that know a lot of history. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, that's like rude to say.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, to be honest, I feel old anyway, so I'm not really gonna be offended if people say. I
feel old too. My birthday was 2 days ago, man.
You know, to be fair, can we just always say that we're getting old at this point every time we have a birthday in front of a next birthday? But to be honest, I'm
gonna be in my 2s next year. I'm gonna be I can't believe I'm gonna have a 2 in front of my name next year. Like, what the heck? This is like, I don't like this.
Yeah, I wish there was some time machine or some shit that we can stop time, but it is what it is. I mean, what the heck? It's life. But you know what? On the side note, as long as we continue moving forward, you know, no matter how much years passes, as long as we're happy moving forward, that's the most number one important thing. It doesn't matter how much we age, as long as we're happy, that's the most important thing we need to always keep in mind in life. If we have that, we basically have a good life ahead of us, in the most possible way, of course.
Can I ask a random question?
Yeah?
Do you like One Piece?
Oh yeah, I love One Piece.
Oh my god! I'm like, I'm kicking my feet. Oh my god, you got me. Oh my god. Okay. That's my favorite anime. I perchance cosplay from it all the time, and really? I also have a giant Luffy half sleeve. Like, it just covers my entire shoulder of Luffy.
That's really cool. In fact, not just that, I have a whole... if you want to go in the anime conversation, I can talk to you for hours. I'm a big nerd, and I just love anime to the absolute core. I have so many t-shirts in my cupboard. I have too much anime. Literally. Not to mention, the number one anime I love is, without a doubt, it's Chainsaw Man. I fucking love Chainsaw Man so much.
Ooh.
Chainsaw Man.
Demon Slayer on your profile.
Even Demon Slayer. I love the Demon Slayer.
I have a Tanjiro half sleeve that covers like my entire forearm.
That's so cool. I love that. Yeah,
and then I have
I'm a big fan
too, from Death Note.
Sorry, oh, that's so cool. no, no, it's just we're so passionate. I love that. You know, I'm a big anime. Like anybody that talks anime, like I'm just a big passionate guy. I have so many Funko Pops on anime. I even have a lot of cosplays. I have Rengoku from Demon Slayer. I have the whole cosplay set of him. I had the Chainsaw Man mask, but sadly it broke. It was like fully 3D printed. Not to mention it costed me a lot of money too, but I'm not gonna fix it. It's way too expensive at this point to fix it. And to be fair, another cosplay I wanted to do was Mahoraga from Jujutsu Kaisen. I love Mahoraga so much. Not sure if you
cosplayed Gojo, but I don't really know any characters from JJK. I haven't seen JJK.
I know who Gojo is. I know Gojo is the absolute chick magnet. That's for sure, with the whole looks.
Oh my god, shush. Listen, I don't simp for him. I just accidentally did a cosplay once. I was wearing a white hair. I was wearing like a white wig, like a white long wig with white eyelashes, and I had a black hoodie on. So it just kind of reminded me of JoJo, so I took a picture. Yeah,
that's nice, honestly. I mean, the reason I'm saying is a chick magnet. I'm pretty sure you remember that there was an episode where he entered some school or church, I believe, and he was talking to a teacher, and it was nothing but it was basically like a whole girls' school. And the moment he walked in and he took his glasses off, everybody just went batshit crazy for him. Everybody's like saying, "So cute, so handsome." Everybody just fighting over him. Even the teacher, which was supposed to setting an example for them, she was like, in the anime, she was like slipping a note underneath in like so that the other girls wouldn't see him, and he's like, "Here, call me on this number." And they're like, "Bitch, how dare you take our handsome devil from us?" And they're like doing this whole like funny like shrimping moment in the whole anime. It was really funny. It's like, he's badass, he's good looking, he's got an interesting story, and not just that, there's a whole arc that is gonna be extremely cool when there's like Gojo versus Sakuna in the most ultimate battle possible. It's gonna be one of the biggest animation Mappa's gonna do, for sure. It's gonna break the internet when that happens. In fact, I'm very excited that's gonna happen. Oh man.
Wait, do you have like a Discord server or something? I'd love to like show my tattoos, if that's okay.
Sure, of course. We basically have a Discord server, so you're welcome to join into the stream, and you can do the command, and you can join in. So,
okay, wait.
Yeah.
I'll do. Is your Twitch the same as your?
Yeah, I will send you the link.
Sorry.
Don't worry, I'll send you the link. Not a problem. But yeah,
okay.
Yeah, of course, you're very welcome to do so. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Like, I'm not even gonna question it. Like, I'm just a big nerd when it comes to anime. I love anime with a passion, so much. Demon Slayer, I watched it so many times. Oh my god!
I'm sorry. I'm
zoom in.
I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out how to open the chat, and I can't because I'm on my stupid phone. So
it's okay. Don't worry, I'll send you the link. It won't be an issue. But yeah, pretty much, I'm a big anime nerd. There's a lot of people here that are big anime nerds. If you want to chat with us and share... Oh. And that just happened. Oopsie doopsie. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh my goodness. No, it's okay. I know it was accidental. Oh my, that was funny actually. I know you were trying to click on something, and I know you accidentally clicked the exit button. Oh, that was funny. That was crazy good. But don't worry at all. In fact, if you want to join in, you're very welcome. It was lovely talking to you, Kitty. So thank you so much for chatting. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun. Like I said, I am a chatty bean, so you know me, like, I try my best to not talk over and give people the spotlight and ensure that everyone's having a good time chatting. But it was lovely talking to you. I had a really awesome time. So thanks for being a wonderful guest. I really appreciate it. Really cool stuff. But yeah, chat. Yeah, I think that's my take on digital and physical. So going forward, everybody, here's the big question. Are you still gonna buy digital games after everything? My answer would be it depends. If there's no option but to buy the digital version of something that is not available in physical, then yes, I will buy digital. If it's from a company that I may not support so much, most likely I would stay away from buying from that company per se, and probably wait until it gets ported on PC. To be honest with you, I buy games on PC anyway for digital. Unless it is Nintendo, I will buy physical as much as I can. So technically, I don't really buy PlayStation games anymore, to be honest with you, because I don't really use my PlayStation anymore. I just use my Nintendo Switch. I play physical games on it. I have some digital games on the Switch, which are free, by the way, free to play. So, to be fair, I'm more of a physical media kind of guy, you know? What about you, chat? Physical guy, physical media kind of guy? Or girl? What do you guys think? Because, yeah, I'm more a physical media kind of guy. Also, yo, I've been chatting so much. I actually chatted more than usual. I'm such a chatterbox today. Jeez. Really big chatterbox, and I'm having so much fun, too. This is a really fun conversation. I'm actually enjoying myself. This is nice. Not to mention we got to meet a really lovely guest today, so it was really cool. I am really enjoying myself. Really cool stuff, chat. Really cool stuff. I'm loving it. I am very loving it. Also, thank you everybody for being here, by the way. I really appreciate it. Digital media all the way. Can't be bothered going to the city to pick up a city DVD game these days. I mean, fair enough, you know. Oh, okay, that's fair. You know what? That is justifiable. I'm gonna be honest with you. I totally get when it comes to public transport being garbage, and I can definitely relate here. Although, to be honest with you, when it comes to really hype physical games, I'm gonna be honest with you, back in the days, remember when we used to have a big-ass queue next to GameStop and people would, like, line up, have conversations, and chat and all that stuff? So, isn't that like the good old times where people used to be in a lineup and, you know, wait patiently in the lineup for Games Plus and have conversations? Like, we're not gonna have that anymore. That's the problem. Because of digital media. That's kind of the thing that sucks. I love having conversations with people about games. The problem is, like, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. Let me see. Is it okay that I posted my birthday cake in the food channel? Of course. You're very welcome to do so. You're very welcome to do so. That's why we have the food channel. So that you guys can make each other hungry. Really cool stuff. Of course, no problem at all. That's why we got the Discord channel, so that people can showcase their collection, their food, their anime love, all that cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff, if you ask me. So yeah, absolutely, you're very welcome to post. I always love seeing people's, you know, art designs, whether they are tattoos, whether they are clothes, whether they are video games or anime, anything really. I always love seeing... I love when people post those, like, statues. I really like those 3D printed statues. You know, like anime statues, like Goku or Vegeta or Broly. In fact, one of my friends, you know what they did? Which is really cool. They basically hired someone to 3D print a Broly statue, and it's so nice. It is such a nice piece, y'all. It's a very big one, too. And it doesn't cost a crazy amount of money because I think it's made of PLA. So it's not that crazy expensive. The paint won't cost you that much because probably they use acrylic paint. But it's nice, I'll tell you that, it's really nice. It's super cool, chat. I'll give you a good I'll give you a good only in Ireland moment. There was a protest in Cork City. An hour and a bit south of me, the protest was complaining about how unreliable the bus network really is. Apparently hundreds of people couldn't make it to the protest because, get this, the buses didn't show up. Oh my god. So that's the funny thing is, they wanted to protest, but at the same time they couldn't protest because what they were protesting, the services was already garbage to begin with. So they wanted to protest, but it wasn't possible anyway. That's kind of funny when you put it like that. To be honest with you, I mean, public transportation, a lot of countries have a problem with that. I'm gonna be honest, I think the best public transportation I've been from my traveling times, I'm only saying like where I traveled, I'm not gonna speak for any other countries because I have no clue, but the best transport I had is in the Netherlands. The Netherlands, they had a really awesome transportation system. Like, you have this application that gives you the exact timing, like I'm talking exact timing, when the train is coming, where the tram is coming, where the bus itself is coming, and it's very, very convenient. It is so convenient. And the nice thing about it is that you can pay for a membership card, and you can just basically beep, and you have 3 days worth of transportation without paying extras. Because basically in transportation you have two options. You can either get the membership card and you can ride as long as you want with the buses with no extra charges, or you can just use your Visa card and pay for each time you ride the bus or train. And that can be more expensive because you're basically paying for each time you leave and each time you ride the train. So you can imagine how expensive that can be. So usually, you know, with some countries, you can buy these like membership cards and you can save a lot of money in transportation. In fact, a lot of tourists, they usually buy these membership cards because they're really cheap. You know, you would be saving almost 2 times the amount of money because, you know, a lot of people will take transportation to go to a lot of places, to go to a lot of tourist attractions. So it becomes very worth it if you're like on vacation. So, yeah, I can tell you for a fact there are countries which has really terrible transportation. But then there are countries which have really awesome transportation, and I can vouch the Netherlands have a really awesome transportation. Especially for the train system. Train system and the buses. Really good. Honestly, in fact, not gonna lie, the first train I rode was actually in Netherlands. I never rode a train before. I never even rode a tram before. This was my first time. And just so you guys know, the reason I went to Netherlands is because I went to Rotterdam. And for those of you who don't know what Rotterdam is basically, I believe, a city located, I'm not sure where exactly, but it's a city where they hosted the EU TwitchCon. So for those of you who don't know, Twitch, they basically hold conventions. They hold one in San Diego, in America, and they had one in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands. And for the first time ever, I literally paid to go abroad, travel for the first time, and I went to the most beautiful convention, and I went to Rotterdam for the first time. I met so many awesome people there. They were so nice. They were people I knew, and it was one of the most awesome trips I ever had being in a convention. In fact, I really want to travel again to another Twitch convention just so I can meet with my friends there. They are so nice, chat. I'm telling you, it's one of the most awesome experiences of my life. I went there to Twitch convention. I met so many friends. We had such a great conversation. It was really nice. I had the best time ever. It's so cool, like meeting people there, talking to each other, playing some card games together, eating some food together. It's so nice, man. It is so nice. Correction, the Leap card works in the cities and larger towns and some commuter zones that have services to nearby. Fair enough. Yeah. To be honest with you, the card that you pay, the Leap card, if that's what you call it, I didn't know they call it a Leap card. Basically, you can only use it in a certain section of the city. For example, you can't pay for the card in Amsterdam and use it to ride trains in Rotterdam for free. You know, like if you want accessibility for a whole day without having to pay each an individual trip, you have to pay for a membership in Rotterdam. So if you have a card from Amsterdam, it will not work in Rotterdam transportation. That's the only disadvantage you have. So if you think you have a card that has access to every transportation in the Netherlands, It's not possible. It doesn't work like that, sadly. Although on the bright side, they are not super expensive. So technically, it's not that crazy expensive to ride transportation. So if you buy the card and you ride that transportation, it's not that pricey. Depends for how long days you want, so it really depends on where you want to go. But it's definitely the cheaper option than having to pay one trip at a time. It's way more expensive. Way more. But it's a nice experience, though, I'll tell you that. It's a really awesome experience. So, yeah. Nothing to complain about it. It's a really worth investment when you're going on a vacation. It's really awesome. Oh, in Ireland, it's called a Leap card, but it works in all areas the card is accepted. So if you buy one in Dublin, the capital city, you can use it in Cork, the second largest city in Ireland. That's actually nice, because I think in the Netherlands it doesn't work like that. So at least you have that advantage, but then again, I think the biggest concern is not just the cards. The biggest concern is the transportation itself. Because you can have all these benefits, you can have all these, benefits with these cards, but if the transportation is garbage, I mean, you might as well get a Bolt or taxi or something, rather than waiting for God knows how many hours for the bus only to arrive late anyway. You know what I mean? So it really depends. Oh, it can be used for buses, trains, and trams. Fair enough. That's really good. In fact, that's the same thing with Netherlands. You can use it in that area for anything. As long as you are in that section, you can use it for anything. Trains, trams, buses. It's really good. It's a really nice thing they have going on. But yeah, the card is convenient, but transport sucks. So it's easy to pay for the privilege of using the transport, but hard to actually use the bloody transport. That sounds like a relatable thing. Honestly, I completely understand you. Sometimes it's better to pay extra so you can have proper transport than having, free transport or anything like that. But then God knows it takes hours for it to arrive. It's just ridiculous. All right, chat. So it looks like we are not fortunate enough to get any guests today. Again, I don't know what's going on with VupeChat. Not a lot of people are joining in. It's like people gave up on VupeChat completely. I don't know what the heck's going on, man. It's really crazy. But we had a lot of great conversations. By the way, did you guys had a really good, fun conversations? Everybody had a good time today? Can I get some yes in the chat or anything like that? Hopefully you guys had a good time. Thanks again for the conversations. Thank you guys for coming in from the raid, by the way. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Nimus Prime, for your chatting. I really appreciate it. Same goes for T and everyone else here. I really appreciate it. Ronnie, everyone there, thank you guys so much for the chats. I really appreciate it. And also, Jockey, not Jokey. Thank you again, bro, for joining in. It's always nice to see you in. Always nice to see a British gamer coming in. Thanks again for joining in, dude. I really appreciate it. Always nice to see a horror fan, too, because technically, I think you might be the bravest soul in this chat. Because I sure as hell can't play a horror game to save my own ass. But apparently you play horror games like if it's a Sunday drive. Good for you, man. Like, I wish I had your bravery. Fuck, man. But good. As long as you're enjoying the game, that's the most important thing, right? So, big cheers to you for having the courage to beat a horror game. Because, man, it is not easy. It really isn't. But as long as you're having fun, that's what matters. So I'm really happy for you. Guys, go check out Jockey as well. Please send all the love and support. So please make sure to send all the love to this legend. And so many other people here present amongst us. Really awesome creators. You're a big scaredy cat, huh? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You don't look like you're scared to me at all, man. You look very brave when you stream. You look very brave, dude. Now, it could be maybe I missed your screams or something like that, but You look so much brave on stream, dude, not gonna lie. Like, I hear you scream here and there, but that's pretty normal because you get jump scared a lot. But other than that, you're such a brave soul. Really brave soul. If you look at my gameplay, a lot of the times you see me hiding in the darkness. If I play a game like what's it called? Outlast, you would see me mostly hiding in the locker. Not even joking, that's how scared I was when I played Outlast. When I played Outlast, I was so scared I stayed most of the time in the lockers. Because I was too afraid to leave. I'm not even joking, man. That's how terrified I was. To be fair, Phasmophobia is not even that scary. That's the interesting part. I don't know why people are so scared of... It's scary because when you're hiding and all that, it gets scary. But realistically, Phasmophobia is nothing compared to a real psychological horror game. It's scary, don't get me wrong, it is scary, but it's nowhere near playing like Amnesia or any other games out there. Like if you're playing Amnesia Bunker, for example, yeah, Phasmophobia doesn't even begin. Or if you're playing a game like Resident Evil Requiem, it's such a more scary game, man. It is such a more... Oh my god, don't get me started. You know what? Here's the funny thing is, a friend of mine wanted me to play Outlast Trials, but the problem with Outlast Trials, first of all, Outlast Trials is incredibly gory as hell. The problem with Outlast Trials is that I would probably get into trouble because there's a lot of nudity involved, you know, like guys naked with their pee-pee out and all that. So I get very nervous that if I stream a game like that, you know, I would get into trouble with Twitch. Because, you know, Outlast doesn't shy away from having, like, a lot of gory, nude shit going on. So it's a really messed up psychological game. But I just get scared that Twitch might take it down or might get me into trouble or all that. So I'm kind of scared to stream it. You know what I mean? It's really scary because I just get nervous that they might flag it or some shit. Because... like, it's such an unhinged game. It really is, like, everywhere you go, there's a psycho on the loose, there's, like, sometimes you might encounter a naked person running around in the game. It's really messed up. It's really messed up game. But it's fucking scary, man. It's really scary. Yeah, Resident Evil is elite, my guy. If there's one franchise I will admire, is Resident Evil. Resident Evil is the GOAT. In fact, I remember I played Biohazard. What an awesome game it was. I loved the crap out of Biohazard. Man, Biohazard was amazing. Yo, Bowser, welcome on in, my guy. Welcome, welcome. You're just in time. We're about to raid, my guy. So here we go. We are going to raid somebody. Alright, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Thank you for being super awesome. Thank you for being sweet. Thank you guys for being amazing. I love Silent Hill, my guy. I love Silent Hill. Jockey, the game that I played that I really enjoy is Silent Hill of the PS1. That was one of the best Silent Hill games, in my opinion. Not Silent Hill 2, not the other Silent Hill games. The first original Silent Hill game. That was like the GOAT, man. It was such a phenomenal psychological game. It was very trippy. It was really, really cool. The bosses were super hard. My god, what a difficult game that was, but it's a really cool game. Like, oh my goodness, man. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, Silent Hill 1 is the GOAT, in my opinion. The other Silent Hill games are good, but Silent Hill 1 is legendary. Absolute legendary, man. Alright, guys. We'll continue the conversation next time. Thank you guys so much for being wonderful. We're gonna go ahead and find someone to raid. So thanks again, everybody, for your support and time. It was a lovely conversation with you guys. So thanks again for everything and for your support. Guys, remember that we are also raising money for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. So there's some really cool milestones, new ones, including incentives. So if you really are interested, please go do !charity in the chat. You can check out the charity and stay up to date. So please go check it out whenever you can. If you cannot support the charity, that's okay. You're welcome to always share the link around and get more support that way, which is still very, very helpful. So feel free to do so. And I'm going to go ahead and find someone who we can raid. So, is there anyone on VupeChat? I doubt it. I really doubt it. Trying to see where we can actually... Trying to figure out where we can actually raid off chat. You know what? I have just the person to raid. I have just the person to raid, everybody. And this lovely individual is playing Sonic Superstars. Absolutely very, very awesome. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and raid off to this lovely individual. And we're gonna go on from there. So, thank you again, everybody, for your time. Let's go ahead and raid this individual and send all the love and support. So, guys, let's go ahead and do so. So, we're gonna go ahead and raid Silver Stone. So, thanks again, everybody, for your time. I appreciate the heck out of you guys. And I'll see you guys next time for some more awesome more awesome gameplay and fun time. Also, guys, don't forget to check out my YouTube and other socials if you haven't. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time for some more awesome fun. I wish you all a good day. Lovely netlinks out there. Stay safe. Stay happy. You're always welcome to chat around in the Discord whenever you want. So, have a good time. Love you guys. Thank you, Froggo, for the raid message. I completely forgot about it. Froggo reminding me out of nowhere. Magical Froggo coming in. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So, thank you for that. And let's go ahead and raid. Alright, everybody, copy your raid message. Let's go ahead and give our love and support. And that's gonna be it. Take care, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye. And have a good one. And also, guys, I might not stream next week, so just so you all know, I will let you guys know if I'm going to stream because there might be some work-related things that might happen, so stay tuned. There is a very high chance I will not be streaming next week, but we will see. I will keep you guys updated, and if any changes happens, I will let you guys know on Twitter and Discord. So that's it. Good night, guys, and see you guys next time. Take care. Have a good one. See you then. Bye-bye.